Look around you. Everyone seems successful. Everyone is winning. Everyone is living their best life. Luxury cars, perfect bodies, exotic vacations. And somehow it all looks effortless. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Most of it is fake. Not just slightly exaggerated, but carefully crafted, filtered, and staged to perfection. And while you're watching, you're slowly starting to feel like you're falling behind. The rise of fake success culture. There was a time when success had a deeper meaning. It was about stability, growth, respect. It was about building something real, something that took time, effort, and patience. People didn't need to prove their success every day, because success was something you lived, not something you displayed. But then everything changed. The digital explosion. With the rise of social media, success became visible. Suddenly, everyone had a stage. Everyone had an audience. And most importantly, everyone had something to prove. Platforms turned ordinary lives into highlight reels. Moments became content. Experiences became performances. And success became a visual product. Not something you achieve, but something you show. The illusion begins. At first it seemed harmless. Sharing achievements, celebrating wins, inspiring others. But slowly, something darker took over. People stopped asking, "Am I actually successful?" and started asking, "Do I look successful enough?" That one shift changed everything. Because once success becomes about appearance, truth becomes optional. The pressure to perform. Now there's pressure. Pressure to look rich even when you're broke. Pressure to look happy even when you're struggling. Pressure to look confident even when you're lost. So what do people do? They fake it. They rent luxury cars for photos. They pose in places they don't belong. They show lifestyles they can't afford. And over time, the line between reality and illusion disappears. Here's where it gets addictive. Every like, every comment, every share, it gives a small hit of validation, a temporary feeling of worth, and the brain starts craving it. So you post more, you exaggerate more, you perform more, until your life is no longer about living. It's about maintaining an image, the hidden truth. But behind the camera, things are different. The successful influencer might be drowning in debt. The happy person might be battling anxiety. The confident figure might feel completely lost. Because fake success comes with a hidden cost. You have to constantly keep up the illusion. And that pressure is exhausting. The new definition of success. Today, success has been redefined. It's no longer about inner peace, personal growth, meaningful relationships. It's about followers, views, external validation. We've replaced depth with display. And in doing so, we've lost the true meaning of success. The dangerous impact. This doesn't just affect the people faking it. It affects everyone watching. Because when fake success becomes the standard, real life starts to feel like failure. People begin to doubt themselves. They feel behind. They feel not good enough. Not because they're failing, but because they're comparing themselves to something that isn't real. The truth you need to hear. Here's the reality. Most real success is boring. It's quiet. It's slow. It doesn't look impressive on camera. It's waking up early, working when no one is watching, failing, learning, growing again and again. It doesn't go viral, but it builds something real. So the question is, are you chasing real success, or just the image of it? Because in a world obsessed with looking successful, choosing to be real is the boldest move you can make. The dangerous comparison trap. It starts quietly. You pick up your phone just for a moment. You scroll just to relax. And then it happens. You see someone your age doing better, living better, looking better. And without even realizing it, you compare. The automatic reaction. It's almost automatic. Their success becomes your insecurity. Their highlight becomes your doubt. You start asking yourself, why am I not there yet? Why is my life not like this? What am I doing wrong? And just like that, your peace is gone. The biggest lie you believe. Here's the biggest lie comparison tells you. That you're seeing the full picture. But you're not. You're seeing a carefully selected moment. A filtered version. A highlight, not a reality. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's best angles. And that comparison, it's completely unfair. The distortion of reality. The more you compare, the more your perception changes. Normal life starts to feel boring. Small progress starts to feel meaningless. You ignore how far you've come because someone else seems further ahead. You stop appreciating your journey because it doesn't look impressive enough. Comparison doesn't just steal your joy. It rewrites your reality. The endless race. Here's the dangerous part. There is no finish line. No matter where you get, there will always be someone ahead. More money, more followers, more success. So even when you achieve something, you don't feel satisfied because you're still looking sideways, still measuring, still chasing. It becomes an endless race. You were never meant to run. The identity crisis. Over time, comparison does something deeper. It disconnects you from yourself. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What should I want?" Your goals become borrowed. Your dreams become influenced. Your path becomes unclear. You're no longer living your life. You're trying to match someone else's. The emotional cost. And the emotional cost. It's heavy. Self-doubt. Anxiety. Low self-worth. You feel like you're not enough. Like you're falling behind. Like you're missing out. But the truth is, you're not behind. You're just distracted. The truth about timing. Everyone's life runs on a different timeline. Some people succeed early. Some succeed later. Some take completely different paths. And that's okay. Because real success is not about speed. It's about direction. But comparison makes you forget that. It makes you rush. It makes you panic. It makes you doubt your own timing. Breaking the trap. If you want to escape the comparison trap, you have to change one thing. Your focus. Stop looking at others and start looking at yourself. Measure your progress against who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. Limit what you consume. Protect your attention, because what you see shapes how you feel. Powerful realization. Here's something most people never realize. The people you compare yourself to are also comparing themselves to someone else. Even they don't feel enough sometimes. Because comparison is a cycle, and it traps everyone. So the next time you feel that pressure, that feeling of not being enough, pause. Ask yourself, am I comparing my real life to someone else's illusion? Because the moment you become aware of it, you take back your power. Comparison steals your peace, but awareness gives it back. And maybe the life you're chasing isn't better. It's just better presented. The cost of chasing the wrong dream. Not all dreams are yours. Some are given to you by society, by family, by social media. And without realizing it, you start chasing a life you never truly chose. It looks right. It sounds impressive. It gets approval. But deep down, something feels off. The illusion of success. You tell yourself, this is what success looks like. This is what I'm supposed to do. So you follow the path, the safe career, the status-driven goals, the lifestyle that others admire. And on the outside, everything seems perfect. But inside, there's confusion, there's pressure, there's emptiness, the slow disconnection. Chasing the wrong dream doesn't break you overnight. It happens slowly. You start ignoring your instincts. You silence your curiosity. You push aside what actually excites you. Day by day, you disconnect from yourself, until one day you wake up and realize you don't even know who you are anymore. The price you pay, the cost of chasing the wrong dream is high, not just in time, but in energy, mental health, and identity. You feel drained doing things you don't love. You feel stuck in a life you can't explain. You feel successful, but not fulfilled. And that's the worst kind of success. The one that looks right, but feels wrong. Living for approval. Here's the truth. Many people aren't building their dream life. They're building a life that gets approval. Approval from family. Approval from society. Approval from strangers online. But approval is temporary. You might impress people for a moment, but you have to live with your choices every day. And no amount of external validation can fix internal dissatisfaction. The burnout effect. When you chase something that doesn't align with you, everything becomes harder. Motivation fades. Energy drops. Burnout increases. Because you're forcing yourself to become someone you're not. And that kind of effort is exhausting. The regret nobody talks about. Here's what people don't talk about enough. Regret. Years spent chasing the wrong goals. Time invested in the wrong direction. Energy wasted trying to fit into a life that was never meant for you. And the painful realization, I did everything right, but it still feels wrong. The truth about real dreams. Real dreams feel different. They don't always look impressive. They don't always get approval, but they feel right. They give you energy instead of draining you. They excite you even when they're hard. They make the struggle meaningful. Real dreams are aligned with who you are, not who the world wants you to be. The turning point. At some point, you have to ask yourself, am I living my life or someone else's expectations? Because the longer you avoid that question, the further you drift from your truth, and the harder it becomes to come back. Choosing alignment over approval. The solution isn't easy, but it's simple. Choose alignment over approval. Choose purpose over image. Choose truth over comfort. It might not impress everyone. It might not look perfect, but it will feel real. And that's what matters. At the end of your life, people won't remember your job title, your followers, or your image, but you will remember how you lived. So don't waste your life chasing a dream that isn't yours, because success without fulfillment is just a well-disguised failure. The wrong dream can cost you years, but the right one, it can give you a life that actually feels like yours. What real success actually looks like. The truth no one shows. Real success doesn't look the way you think it does. It's not always loud. It's not always flashy. And most of the time, it doesn't get attention. In fact, real success is often invisible, because the things that truly matter in life can't always be captured in a photo. Breaking the illusion. We've been conditioned to believe that success looks like luxury, status, recognition, a life that impresses others. But real success, it feels different. It's internal, it's personal, and it doesn't depend on who's watching. The feeling of real success. Real success is waking up without a sense of dread. It's having peace in your mind. Instead of noise, it's being able to sit alone with your thoughts and feel okay. It's not constantly chasing the next thing, but appreciating where you are. That quiet sense of contentment, that's success. Freedom over image. Real success gives you something fake success never can. Freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Freedom to say no without guilt. Freedom to live life on your own terms. Not controlled by expectations, not trapped by appearances. Because when your life is built on truth, you don't have to maintain an image. Growth that no one sees. Most real success happens behind the scenes. It's the discipline to keep going when no one is watching. It's the consistency to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It's the small habits repeated daily that slowly transform your life. No applause. No validation, just progress. Peace over pressure. Fake success creates pressure. Pressure to perform. Pressure to prove. Pressure to keep up. But real success creates peace. You're not rushing. You're not comparing. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're simply living. And that calm, grounded state is something money and status can't buy. meaningful relationships. Real success is also about who you have in your life. Not how many people follow you, but how many truly know you. People you can be real with. People who support you, not just admire you. Because at the end of the day, success feels empty if you have no one to share it with. Doing work that matters. Real success is doing something that feels meaningful to you. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to matter. Something that gives you a sense of purpose. Something that makes your effort feel worthwhile. Because when your work has meaning, even hard days feel valuable. Self-respect over approval. One of the clearest signs of real success is this. You respect yourself, not because others approve of you, but because you know you're living in alignment. You keep promises to yourself. You stay true to your values. You make decisions you're proud of. And that internal respect, it's stronger than any external validation. The redefinition of success. So maybe it's time to redefine success. Not as something you show, but something you feel. Not as something you prove, but something you live. Success is not the car you drive. It's the life you create. Success is not how you look to others. It's how you feel within yourself. The realization. The world will keep showing you loud, flashy versions of success. But don't let that distract you, because real success is quieter, but far more powerful. It's a life built on truth, a mind filled with peace, and a path that actually feels like yours. Fake success is meant to be seen. Real success is meant to be lived. And once you understand the difference, you stop chasing and start building, breaking free from the illusion, the realization. At some point, you start to see it. The patterns, the pressure, the illusion. You realize that most of what you've been chasing was never truly yours. And in that moment, something shifts, because awareness is where freedom begins. Seeing through the fake, you begin to notice things differently. The perfect lives don't impress you anymore. The constant showing off starts to feel empty. The validation game starts to look meaningless. What once inspired you now feels artificial. And that's a good thing, because it means you're waking up. The courage to step back. But awareness alone isn't enough. You need the courage to step back, to disconnect from what's influencing you, to question what you've been taught, to stop blindly following the crowd. Because the truth is, most people never escape this illusion, because they're too afraid to be different. Reclaiming your mind. Breaking free starts with reclaiming your attention. What you watch, what you consume, what you allow into your mind. It shapes your reality. So be intentional. Unfollow what triggers comparison. Limit what drains your energy. Choose content that adds value, not pressure. Because protecting your mind is protecting your life. Redefining your life. Now comes the most important step. Redefine your version of success. Not based on trends, not based on what looks good, but based on what feels right for you. What kind of life do you actually want? What makes you feel alive? What gives you peace? These are the questions that matter. Choosing a different path. When you break free from the illusion, your path will look different. Slower, less flashy, less validated. And sometimes, it will feel lonely, because you're no longer doing what everyone else is doing. But remember, different doesn't mean wrong. It means you're thinking for yourself, building a real life. Now, instead of performing, you start building a life that isn't designed to impress, but to fulfill. You focus on real growth, real relationships, real experiences, things that don't always show online, but feel real in your heart. The peace you gain, and something unexpected happens. You feel lighter, less pressure to prove, less need for validation, less noise in your mind. Because when you stop chasing illusions, you start experiencing reality. And reality, when lived right, is more than enough. The power of being real. There's power in being real. In a world full of filters, Authenticity stands out, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. When you stop pretending, you stop exhausting yourself, and that energy, you can finally use it to build something meaningful. Freedom, breaking free from the illusion isn't easy. It requires awareness, courage, and honesty with yourself. But once you do, you gain something most people never will. Freedom. Freedom from comparison. Freedom from pressure. Freedom from living a life that isn't yours. At the end of the day, you can chase a life that looks good, or build a life that feels good. One is temporary. The other is real. The choice is yours. Wake up. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Because every day you spend chasing illusions is a day you lose from your real life. No one is coming to save you. Not success. Not money. Not validation. If your life is built on the need to impress others, it will never feel like yours. And deep down, you already know that. You've been sold a version of success that looks perfect, but feels empty. A life designed to be seen, not lived. But you don't have to stay stuck in it. You can break out. Right now, you have a choice. Keep scrolling. Keep comparing. Keep chasing what isn't real. Or pause. Think. Take control. Start building a life that actually means something to you. Time is passing, whether you act or not. Years will go by, and one day you'll either say, I lived my life on my own terms, or I spent my life trying to impress people who were never paying attention. This is your wake-up call. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for permission. You don't need any of it. The life you want starts the moment you decide to be real. Let go of the illusion. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the need to prove. And start choosing truth. Start choosing peace. Start choosing yourself. Because in the end, fake success might look good to others, but real success feels good to you. If this message hit you, don't ignore it. This might be the moment that changes everything. Like, share, and subscribe for more real content. And remember, wake up before it's too late.